for me, it was really long to get to that realization as well, because I really thought that's what I wanted. I thought it's not making me happy because I'm not getting that promotion, or, but no, that was not it. It was just the approach of how you're supposed to work and show up every day and deliver the exact same thing to the same level of energy. That's just not possible.
Hey, I'm your host, Ronja Sakata, Queen of Joy, that's how my friends call me, talking to you from Zurich, Switzerland. I want to make this world more joyful and playful and colorful, because we don't have a guarantee for tomorrow, so let's enjoy today. Will you join me? I'm all in. I founded the Joy Academy for exactly that reason, and on the Let's Create Joy podcast, we talk visions, dreams, self-care, habits, challenges, creating joy, and much more in motivational solo episodes at the beginning of the month and inspiring talks with my wonderful guests. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at joyismycompass for getting fun and tangible daily inspiration for our monthly topic. You make the difference, and you are the most important person in your life. Yes, we can live our best lives right now while we have our big vision in our head and heart. Let's dive right in. Enjoy! Welcome, Amandine Ayala, to the Let's Create Joy podcast. It's so cool meeting you, because we know each other from a coaching group, and now actually we're talking the first time in private, and you are the lucky one who can listen to us now, exploring what Amandine is doing and who you are. You know, that's always my first question. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you create joy in your everyday life? And what brings you joy?
Hi, Ronja. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, so I'm Amandine, and who am I? I'm a crazy cat lady. I think that's very important about who I am. And that comes from, of course, I love cats. I love all animals. I love nature. And I'm going to talk about that in a sec, a little bit more. But I think I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I think my love for cats came from my childhood, growing up in a family where it wasn't really accepted to express your feelings. So I felt like the cats were really a safe space for me, and I have a really strong connections to them. And sometimes I forget to mention that, and it's such a big part of me that now I'm like, crazy cat ladies, my first thing.
So
I'm
cool.
also a big I'm also a big cannabis lover and consumer and advocate, and believe that, you know, people who need it should have access to that amazing plant who has amazing benefits. For different reasons, it's all very complicated, but to keep it large, cannabis lover. And I'm a tea alchemist, and also the founder and CEO of my business, Blue Memoir, where I create organic, luxurious hemp-based tea blends to help busy people like us to create more time and space for self-care. So I also create bespoke tea blends for businesses who want to elevate their clients' experience with a touch of luxury. And what that looks like is I create a complete customized tea, your signature tea, basically, that embodies the work that you do, your business values, how you want your clients to feel, so that it anchors them into the work that you do. It can take them back to a specific place when you work together, or it can prepare them to a retreat, for example, with a certain feeling. Or if it's after a retreat, it can take them back to that moment together, that feeling, and that really special place. So it can be anything really, because it's fully customized, and I love that works with the bespoke.
That's so cool, because we are so, I mean, scents and tastes are so connected to experiences and memories, right? It's like one kind of smell and you are back in your in your childhood in 2 milliseconds. That's so
Yes.
cool.
And
Wow.
I love that you said that, actually, because my teas, they are the way that they are in order to create a sensorial experience. So I'll show you. I have one of my jars here. Firstly, they are in glass jars because, to me, it starts with the visual, right?
Yeah.
I think our bodies have a beautiful way of telling us what they like, what's good for them, what they need. And it just starts with looking at something. Like, if you don't like it, then maybe that's not what you need, you know? And also, it's very important for me because I use extremely high quality herbs. And when you hide that in a tea bag, you can't see it. And actually, I invite you to open up tea bags that you buy in shops and see that what you'll find is very different from this. You'll find a lot of powder and not really be able to identify what's going on there. For me, that's really important, you know, being able to see the colors, being able to see the leaves, the flowers, what's going on in your drink, right? And then you move on to open it and smell it. And that,
I want
again,
to smell. Can we do that, please, Zoom? Can you like wamp up your game? We want smell involved.
I know, right? This one is Respire. This is my hemp, or my teas are hemp based. So hemp, lavender, vervain, lemon verbena, and melissa. When you smell it, I'm in the south of France right now, but it smells like here. It smells like home for me, where I grew up. It smells like the south of France. And same, like, looking at it, if you smell it and you don't like it because it's a preference thing, right? You know that, okay, this is not the tea for you today. And then it's all moves on to the whole ritual of boiling your water, creating something for you with your cup of tea, letting it steep. And then, of course, you have I have a mug here, but you pour it in your mug, you will feel the warmth, again, smell it. And then finally, when you sip on it, the taste comes and the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Very important. And I think we think tea taste or food taste, but there's so much more that goes into that. And that's what I'm trying to communicate in my teas. And to answer your question about what brings me joy, I think it's pretty clear when I talk about
I was thinking, like, she's answering the question like it's so obvious, so beautiful.
So yeah, that brings me so much joy, blending and creating new blends, because I have my 4 flagship blends that I have all the time. I always have one seasonal blend that's limited edition. But then, although I'm often creating and stuff, but otherwise the really creating from scratch part comes from my bespoke work. The bespoke work is really, you know, we get together, we talk, and what you're going to tell me about your business and your clients and how you want them to feel, I'm going to translate that into a herbal recipe. And that is so much fun. That brings me joy. I mentioned cats. Cats bring me so much joy.
How many do you have, or do you have one?
Yes, I have one, and because I was sharing with you, I'm staying with my parents, and we have 6 in total right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
They have a big garden and it's awesome. And since I've been here, I've rescued 2 cats for my parents. So I love living with cats. They're also different and fun and amazing, and animals in general as well. We have guinea pigs as well, rabbit, some tortoises. And my big dream is to move to the countryside and rescue animals, give them a better life, a second life, where they don't have to worry about producing or being 1.5 years old because they can't be as productive anymore and stuff. So that's definitely something that brings me joy.
So your future self lives in the south of France, or where is your sanctuary?
No, I don't know. This is a big thing for me right now, because I have a very clear vision of, you know, the house and the grounds and what I do every day, but where it is, I still don't know. So this is something I'm figuring out at the moment. And actually, I forgot to mention this earlier when we were chatting, but I'm looking for house sitting opportunities in Europe in general so that I can see how it is to live in different places.
Yeah.
I mean, France is not really at the top of my list, but why not? I love Ireland, I love Spain, and I actually have a call on Tuesday for a place in Switzerland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that could be really cool.
Where in Switzerland?
I don't know, but I will look that up and find that out. I'm pretty sure it's the German part of Switzerland.
Yeah.
But to be 100% honest, I don't know. I was just
no problem. That's so cool. I think house sitting is, that's so cool to experience the everyday life. I'm always so interested in the everyday life of a country. That's why I loved it so much when I was staying in Japan, living with a family, going to work, seeing this movie of this city every morning, which was so accurately the same. It was so much fun. And I didn't have, digital camera wasn't the thing back then. So I always thought I would love to record these scenes every morning. It was the same, the same lady rushed from behind me to the bus station. And one couple was always dressed the same, walking in front of me. And I was like, what's wrong with you guys? And one time I was like slightly at a different time, or they were a little later. And then I saw them opening their shop, I thought, oh, that's your uniform. Now I get it. Yeah. So, but you wouldn't sense these little moments if you're just visiting sightseeing spots and being a tourist. So
100%.
And if you want to find out where you want to live, you can, Switzerland is just such an expensive spot on this earth, but that's Mika's dream too, a sanctuary with lots of cows and horses and cats, and obviously dogs. She's a dog person, so yeah.
Oh, is she? Okay. Yeah. I think I like dogs. I love all animals, but we've never had dogs, and it feels like such a big commitment. And I don't have kids, for example, possibly for the same reason I don't have a dog. But maybe I know that if I live in the countryside, especially in the middle of nowhere, I'll probably have a dog, a nice shepherd, who can look after my sheep and look after me and stuff. So as long as it's nice to the cats.
I like that. And I mean it's such a different energy. Cats are like, oh, don't touch me today.
I know. I love it.
And dogs are they just love you so much. I mean, cats show you some, sometimes it's like, but not today, just, or not now, or now I don't want your pets anymore, go away. I think they're so funny. Yeah. And so, I mean, dogs are different too, but a dog which was treated well, I think all dogs are friendly, but cats are so different in character. That's incredible.
I love it.
We had one, she was with us for 16 years. And the next one we had for 20 years. And I swear it's the same soul. She was just like identical, like, and I read about that pets who love you, they will come back in the next pet. So
oh my god,
I like that idea.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but it's not about my cat, it's about you. So your tea, I mean, I had so many visuals in my head. It's like a perfume creator, it's kind of the same creativity. It's so complex. If you are a hairdresser, you have this hair in front of you, but you have the sense in your brain, and you combine it. How many times do you have a blend and you're like, oh no, this didn't work out? Or are you hitting it always?
Honestly, it's usually pretty on point, but what I always say is that the hard part is not selecting the herbs really, because there's nature has given us so many options. So let's say I want a certain feelings, I'll go to certain herbs. There's a lot of intuition in what I do, because for some reason I'll be called to be like, okay, let's say I have a list of 5 herbs that do A, list of 5 herbs that do B. I will be drawn onto something. And I'll be like, okay, let's try this and this. I don't know why, but it just feels good. Then I'll try it. Big part of my job is actually trying the tea, right? And now I make my mom try it as well. What did you think? She's a very tough critic, so most of the time I know what she says, but I'll blend it, because the hard part is the proportion. You can have beautiful herbs that go beautifully together technically, but you want the right proportion. I'm looking at my tea here, Respire. It has lavender in it. Lavender is something that scared a lot of people at first, and it didn't used to be my bestseller, and now it started to become like everyone wants it. And I think it's because people seeing lavender were scared that it would be too soapy, too strong, but it's not. It's perfectly balanced with the other herbs, I think, anyway. And that was, the, let's say, the tricky part to achieve. But you do that by trying. I write the proportion, I'll try again, I'm like, try again. And when it comes to bespoke, I always send samples, because I want the business owner to absolutely love their blend as well. And they will tell me the same thing. Oh, maybe a little less this or a little more that. But to be very honest, it's usually pretty on the button. They usually are like, oh my God, I love it. So.
Do you offer this service also to parties like weddings? Wouldn't that be the perfect giveaway? Like, wow, that the memory of the wedding afterwards.
I've thought of that before, and the only reason I haven't done that is because I'm not really connected to wedding planners, but I do think it would be a beautiful, beautiful gift. And it wouldn't have to be in a jar, because maybe that's a lot per guest, but you can put them in little sachets, beautiful little bags with a little tag, blah blah and blah blah, the date, absolutely.
And also the herbs and the plants, they have meaning and history, and then it could be like in the decoration, the fresh ones could be there, like,
I like that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. And to be honest, with the herbs, there's so many options. I created last year a herbal rinse for hair.
Yeah.
Which was for a wonderful, like, premium, she calls it a millionaire salon that is specializing in the US, that is specializing in locks, in dreadlocks. And of course, when you have dreadlocks, you can't a lot of products will get into the hair and might not rinse as well. So the herbal rinse was meant to be lighter than these products, but still bring moisture and growth and strength. And so that was a really cool thing to create, because it wasn't a usual thing, we're going to drink the tea, but it was still something completely tailored to that business and those clients, and they absolutely love it.
So cool.
Yeah,
it's like you said, I'm a tea alchemist. I mean, that's or a tea magician. That's the appropriate description. It's not just blending some herbs, it's so much more, right?
Yes, it's a whole creation process. Absolutely.
So beautiful. And you said cats and animals and your work, and I always love, and I hope everybody listening is inspired. If you hate your job, I think that sucks just the most. Your whole energy is just sucked away by a job you hate. And if you have a job you hate and you have people around you hate, I mean, that's the worst. Like, that you are inspired to create a job or an activity the whole day where you are like even just fond of or that you love. That's the best version, right? how did you change your career to that, or when did you start? Were you already a child, like mixing things or cooking, or where did the idea spark
Not at
from?
all. So I grew up in the south of France, as I mentioned. So big garden, always around herbs. My mom used to disappear at night and come back with a bunch of vervain, for example, to make us herbal tea. I drank herbal tea my whole life, but I only realized a few years ago that I never did it with intention. Like most people, you drink tea because it's nice, it's warm, whatever. It does the job, let's say, but you don't realize there's so much more to it. And until almost 5 years ago now, I was a career woman, worked in corporate, in sales. I was just telling you, traveling around Europe, working really hard to get external validation, to sign new contracts and blah. And I felt my third burnout come along because I'm a workaholic and it's happened before. And I decided this is not life. Like, this is not it. And I quit my job on a bit of a whim, to be honest. No savings, no nothing. I had known for years I wanted to start my own business. I just didn't know what or how, or, it's really scary, especially when you come from a family who really doesn't do that. My family really values security because of their background. I totally get it. But quitting your job, even when I was quitting a job to get a new job that was better or whatever, my parents would be like, ooh, but now you might get fired within 3 months. And it's like, I don't think like that. I needed something to bring me joy. Simple as. And my job didn't do that anymore. It did the opposite. It was killing me from the inside. And that was really hard for me because I fell into a depression quite deeply, not having somebody to check on my work, not having somebody who cared if I woke up in the morning, not having opportunities for external validation all the time, like you do in a job, especially sales. You do your job well, you get money, you get contracts, you get clients, so you're like, ooh, I'm a good worker. There, I didn't have that anymore. And that's when I actually started blending herbs. I had to learn self-care from like the most basic thing, learn to feed myself properly again, learn to shower every day. And I decided to take my mental health into my own hands and get help. That included a coach and a therapist, and I started blending herbs. My first blend, in fact, was Respire, that I was just talking about, that I created to help with my anxiety, to help with my depression, to help with my stress levels. And I realized that when you pair the right intention, and by right intention, I just mean what's right for you in the moment, right? When you pair an intention with the benefits of plants, it's so powerful. It's not just something warm and nice anymore. It's something that becomes a tool for your well-being. And it also turned out to be a wonderful creative outlet for me. I used to say I'm not a creative person. I actually used to say these words in my job. I'm not a creative person. Can you do these slides for me? This is what I would say. And now when I think about that, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm such a creative person. I was just not giving myself space to explore that at all. And everybody's a creative person anyway.
Yes, but maybe you didn't enjoy making beautiful slides, That's just
no. Exactly. I definitely didn't. I was just like bad. But yeah, so my first blend was born, and I started sharing it with people around me, and they loved it. And then everyone was like, okay, I can't sleep very well. I have this problem. And I realized, whoa, everybody has a problem. And I started blending from people, and they loved it. And that's how it all started, basically. And of course, I wanted to include cannabis in my teas. I picked hemp. Hemp is the legal version of cannabis. It has a THC amount that's below, it depends on the countries. In Switzerland is 1%, for example. In most of Europe is 0.2%. So of course my business is 100% legal. So I use hemp because it still has amazing benefits and it doesn't get you high. And it's a great way to open up to the plant if you don't know it.
Yeah.
A great way to remember, hey, it's just a plant. This is just a tea. You're not going to get high. You're just going to feel really good with the right intention. And here's an introduction to that, basically. So that's how I started.
So cool. And what's really touching me so much, my job is killing me from the inside. I mean, that's just brutal. It's slow but brutal.
It is.
It's like if you kill somebody with a spoon, you can, it's just not as quick as with a knife.
Yeah. And for me, it was really long to get to that realization as well, because I really thought that's what I wanted. I thought it's not making me happy because I'm not getting that promotion, or, but no, that was not it. It was just the approach of how you're supposed to work and show up every day and deliver the exact same thing to the same level of energy. That's just not possible. And also didn't make me feel like I was making an impact whatsoever. This usually everything is fun for me at the beginning. I love trying new things, but after a while, if there isn't a bigger meaning to things, some significance, an opportunity for impact and to change the world, because I really believe with our businesses we're changing the world, then it's not for me. I'm going to lose interest.
Yeah, and I think this is just a really important sign. If you lose interest, it's not because you are like not focused enough, and we turn it around and then make ourselves bad again. Like, you can't stay at one job for longer than 1 year without being unhappy. What's wrong with me? Yeah. No, it's not the right thing, and we have to. Exactly. No, we don't have to, but listening to the messages you get from your inside, that's so important. And I think we have to learn that again, because education and also our parents or most parents are just, you unlearn, listen to yourself, like eat up that food on your plate. I think that's the baddest, like all the eating disorders and all the problems with food, they start with little comments like that. It's just it's so important how we talk to each other and how we treat each other, and then how we treat ourselves. But when last this week I went to the birthday party of my godchild, and Mika is now 11, and she said, I don't want to come. And I said, well, you have to make dinner yourself, because I will go. And she said, yeah, I don't have the feeling that I want to be there. And I think that's so important, because if I force her to come with me, that's like the training for going to weddings you don't want to go, or we are so many times going to places where we were like, what am I doing here? And yeah, listening to yourself is just, but we have to train that. It's so important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And ignore those voices, right? Oh yeah, but if you don't go, it's going to look like this or that. Or I've realized, especially recently, like how many of the voices in my head are actually my parents, or what I think my parents would say, from when I was a kid. And of course, all of this is being brought up because I'm staying with them right now, and so it's very interesting. But of course, we are conditioned, right? When I left my job, I was terrified of telling my parents. And I was 30-year-old woman. I told them, I remember 3 months after I quit. So for 3 months, I didn't have a job and they didn't know about it. And I remember sitting them down in the living room and I was shaking like a leaf. And they were like, what is going on? And I just told them. And then they were like, oh, they thought like something really terrible happened. But
Was
That's
that
how scared I was.
teaching them like, ooh, we did we messed up some things, or did they get angry as you were thinking or anticipating?
No, but they were getting nervous, but I think it really did, something really clicked with them realizing, oh my god, she's so scared of telling us of her basically life choices. And
I have chills. That's big.
yeah, it was huge, and that I think made their reaction more supportive, because they were like, oh my god, it was such a big deal for her to tell us this, like even if it wouldn't be something we would have done. But I think my dad really understood that it was a good thing. My mum, for her, it's harder to see that, because again, it's security before everything. And for my parents' generation, you don't have a job to be happy, to have fun. You have a job because you need to have a job, and that's how it is. And you live your life like this. And that's not what I want. Like, no way.
I was talking with my sister yesterday evening on the phone, and we were, I don't know why, we were contemplating about our dad eating dinner, which was prepared by my mom, and then he went to his office again for phone calls for his work, in the community of our village. He had so many jobs without getting paid. So, and then she was cleaning up the kitchen, and my sister was like, I would kill my husband if he would do that. So I never thought about that part, because my parents have a really, I think, equal and beautiful relationship. And my father wasn't the macho, pasha, like, you do everything for me kind of guy. But even then it was like, wow, yeah, that's right. It's so interesting how we, and I already see that with Mika, she will do it differently than, all the opportunities I see her. That's my vision for her, and she can do whatever she wants. But like, if you get on YouTube or on social media, you can raise money for your sanctuary in such a cool way and creative way, and do whatever you want on the side, like be a graphic designer, whatever. Like, how cool is that?
I know, it's so cool. And I think we're kind of in that generation in between, because for her, I hope anyway, it'll be normal for her to ask for help in that way. I see these crowdfundings, and I support a bunch of sanctuaries, in fact, but I feel like, oh my God, I can't really go and ask money like this. And what I've thought about it, because that could help me, get to my next step. But it's like, I don't know, there's something that's stopping me, like, oh, how can you go and just ask for money? And of course there's a project and stuff, but it's something I need to work through for sure. I'm still like,
maybe when you are house sitting, and then you are like walking around this neighborhood, and there it is, like, ha ha ha, here is my vision in front of me.
I know.
And you want to buy that house, you need some crowdfunding. And I think if you show me your life and your transformation on social media in a cool way, you're entertaining me. I pay for my entertainment plus a good cause.
Yeah.
That's not you begging for money just because you want to buy a new car or something like that. It's again the bigger meaning, the bigger purpose, right? I pay for a cow for the life of a cow, not the whole bill, but the part of it. And I never met her, but I feel connected to Beata, my cow, like, that's so cool.
Love it. That's so cool.
And yeah, I think really the whole agriculture is transforming. There is one beautiful woman here in Switzerland. She is actually a trained farmer, like she officially did that school and the whole training, and she's a philosopher, and she is a consultant for farmers who want to stop
That's
breeding
amazing.
pigs or doing the dairy industry thing, and then to transform to oat milk production and sanctuary with the support of city people paying for cows. Like it's it's really happening, I think, slowly but surely.
I'll save you a cow to sponsor for sure.
Yes, I will. I mean, yeah, I see your sanctuary already. And if it would be in Switzerland, you would have the perfect employee for training reasons already with Mika. You know, it's really, really so needed, I think. She stopped eating meat when she was still riding on the back of my bicycle, and we were behind an animal transport camion. What's that in English? Truck.
Truck.
Yeah, and it was really smelly. You were smelling the fear and everything, and the slaughterhouse was right like 300 meters down there. And she asked, "What's that, Mama? That stinks." And I told her, and she's like, "Okay, I don't eat meat anymore." That was her decision.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. I see your vision. So sometimes I think our businesses, the first step of the business is just the first step of the business. I mean, your tea could be one thing you're still doing, but I also had like the image of you are coaching somebody, and then the blends are accompanying the work, you know, like there's so much more possibility, and then your sanctuary, and you can do everything, because things are like after 1 year, 2 years, it's like, what else can I do? You know, when you're a creative person, it's just calling you to the next step, I think.
Absolutely. That's so interesting that you said that, because I've recently had the call to do more, and I talked to Carly's our coach, about it, and it's like, okay, I love doing teas, but I want more. And that's why I love that bespoke offer that I have, because it's a one-to-one relationship. I'm following my clients, you know, it's more, I know what's happening, what the tea is gonna do in the real world. And I feel like I need that. Otherwise, you know, you order a tea, you get it at home, you enjoy it. Yes, sometimes you share on social, but I don't feel like I'm a part of that. And coaching is, first of all, something that I do naturally with like my friends, and give a lot of unsolicited business advice. But absolutely. And I don't know yet which, you know, exactly if it would be self-care coaching or more business coaching, but yes, the teas can be a tool, absolutely, and part of my package. And I've thought of that, and I love that you saw that, because it's scary, but this is something that I want to move towards for sure.
Because you know the corporate world, you know, I when I finished university, I'm a trained food engineer, and I was doing my diploma. It wasn't a master degree back then. It was like the diploma, what is the assignment, you know, like for half a year doing some research and then writing your report. And I was in an international big company. I was like, wow, thousands of people. Does anybody know what he is doing right now? Like, what, like, it's not speaking to me, having a big organization, and you have to fill out the form to do any decision. Like, everything takes so much time. I was like, I can't work like this. So my first job was a salad dressing production, which I've built for a Japanese cook. So like I was alone, and then alone is really alone, but in the end I felt like, yeah, that's what I like. I have a meeting with my assistant and we decide something, and it's done this afternoon, no delay. And as you know, the corporate world, I think, I mean, business people need your tea too, but the corporate ladies working there, being workaholics, I mean, you can speak to them. I was one of you, and I can help you with the tea, and maybe there is a business idea slumbering somewhere, but just first for the self-care. You said I needed to learn to feel myself properly again. So
Yeah, that's
There is
very interesting.
such a huge potential there, because I think it's interesting, and that's what I'm working through now, because I really would love to work more with working women in corporate too, because, and younger women, because if they learn what I teach, about self-care and self-awareness, and that you are absolutely allowed to say no if you mean no, and don't overwrite your own feelings all the time. And if you learn that when you're 30 or even younger, then it's so much easier in relationships, in everything afterwards. If you have kids, don't have kids with assholes, that's a very important rule, because everything else sucks afterwards if you're with the wrong guy. And if you are learning all these boundaries, and like, this is how I want to my life to look and feel, and how I am, and be absolutely authentically you, then you attract the coolest guys, the ones who are free themselves, and they don't want you to make them happy. You are happy, he is happy. If you want to have a hetero relationship, like, it's so much magic in that. And I think starting early would be so much more beneficial than finding all these things out when you're 50. Of course, it's okay if you learn it with 50, that's
better than never, right?
Yeah. I have one client, she said, next 50 years, I do it my way. That was so beautiful, like her statement,
Yes.
But yeah, if you learn it earlier, then it's you have more time for the coolest life ever.
Yeah.
So I see you, Amandine, the sanctuary, the coaching, the teas, your garden. How are you getting to your high quality herbs? Who is
I have
growing them for you?
So the hemp is grown in Germany by a small producer, organic, like hand-picked, etc. The hemp is separate, because in France, although it's moving forward, it's still the law with the hemp, and you need a special license to grow it, etc. But you can have it. I have a traditional herbalist here in Nice who I love, because their herbs are top quality. They're not only organic, they test all their herbs and guarantee them pesticide free. Don't know if you know, but in the European Union, to have the organic label, you can have up to 5 pesticides in your thing. It's just, I think it's crazy, and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think organic means pesticide free. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's it. I just all my herbs, except from one exotic one I had to get in Thailand, actually, Blue Lotus, that they don't have and couldn't get, and that was for a bespoke blend. Everything I get here. Yeah. So and it's a family business for more than 100 years. It's awesome.
Wow.
I love
do you show that on your social media? I want to see about their farm.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't grow the herbs. They get it from producers, but they just make sure, that there are top quality herbs. They just have the little shop, but it's really old school with, the old pharmacies. They have like these big drawers. You can see everything. It's beautiful. I have shared that on socials a few times, but I think I don't share it enough.
Because
special place.
That all speaks, like, if I see your chart and I know all this, it feels even more like, that's how I treat myself with that kind of tea.
Absolutely.
So cool. Do you have, like, I always love to think in 24 hours, like one day, how you do one day, you do your life, like, how does your day look like? Where do you put joy in it? Or you are creating joy, obviously, if you prepare a tea, and I will take that with me, that inspiration to be more intentional while preparing a tea. I will order your tea for sure. I haven't yet. Like, where are you creating joy do you start in the morning when you wake up, or just how do you create your whole day?
Yes, so it's really important for me to start like as soon as I open my eyes, or not even open my eyes, you know, when I'm like kind of waking up. I make a point of having positive thoughts. So usually gratitude, abundance. For example, I have this mantra: abundance comes into my life in the most wonderful and unexpected ways every day. So I try to remember that, because my mind can go in a second in a horrible place. And so I try to cultivate that throughout the day. And as you know, it can be hard. Something can get you off track. But so I try to do that from when I wake up. Then I usually go for a walk. I have my first thing is not a tea, is a hot water lemon.
Yeah.
I always have in the morning. Go for a walk in a garden, or there's a park nearby, which I love to go to. And actually, that's not true. The first thing I do is go see the cats. Where are the kitties? So open, some of them are in the house, some of them I open. I'm like, cuddle all the cats. That definitely brings me joy. Go for a walk. We have guinea pigs here, so I'll take them out. I put them outside. That also, you know, brings me joy. And then it's about, for me in my day, it's about space and freedom. So it's about, I want to do the things I want to do at the pace I want to do them. And that's important. That's something that really didn't work for me in corporate, because it's like, you need this and that and this and in this time frame and stuff. And actually, when I have space, I'm a lot more productive than when I feel crammed or restricted. So that is something I really try to cultivate daily: space. And like, I have in my calendar after this to go and read in the garden, in the sun.
Yeah.
Go read my book in the sun. I usually try to keep my mornings for self-care, so I can meditate or do some tapping or some yoga. It depends. And then either just before lunch I start working, or right after lunch, because my mornings, I'm a bit, you know, I'm not a morning person. I'm a bit slow. I need that space, otherwise I will feel stressed. And of course, it happens that something really needs to be done, so I'll jump on it, but that really is going to kind of me, you know, my day. And then I don't mind, I'm quite a night owl, so I don't mind even working late. But throughout the day, I need to take breaks. So kitty breaks, walk breaks, speak to a friend breaks. I do different things that bring me joy. Have a nice, really nice cup of tea. This kind of things. But it's really important, again, that I give myself space.
I mean, it couldn't be more different to a corporate job, right?
Oh yeah, really couldn't. It's crazy. I can't even imagine doing that again.
I mean, no wonder it was, your soul was crushed, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. I just learned so much. I always say I go on a walk daily, and I don't, because I'm so busy, you know? I have so much work to do. And I really should switch that. It's just stupid to not go on a walk.
And even, I don't know how you're located, but sometimes when I don't have time during the day, I'm lucky because we have a big garden. I'll just take a walk around the garden. And what's fun also for me is that the cats sometimes, like, they'll hide in the grass and in the sun, and I love to look for them. I go around, I look for them, then they follow me. It's so fun. So that really can shift my energy, like 5 minutes shifts my energy. Yeah.
I'm not in a low energy, you know, when I'm in my I have my office like 3 minutes away from home. Now I'm home, but my office is really nearby, and it's so colorful, and I love it so much there. It's like my cave, which is so cool to be there. I could stay in there for 12 hours and don't go outside without like pushing my wish to go outside away. It's I have to, like, moving is not a priority for my, I don't know, for my spirit, or I really move my body because I know it's good for me. And of course, if I'm hiking or walking, I love it. But I'm not, my best friend, if she wasn't on a big round, like walking around per day, she can't sleep. She's like, my legs are like tingling and I can't go to bed. I'm like, oh, I can lay around all day.
Oh yeah, me too. Like and you mentioned your office. I love my office. It's my private space. That's where I create. That's where I have pride. I love it. But when you feel, I get my energies really up and down. So when I feel like it's heavy, I can have a dance as well that also works, or a bit of yoga or meditate. But I feel like just getting out even for 5 minutes can really like shift that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the point. I know I don't have the urge to go outside. It's really just a thing that I need to make a priority. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because the woods are super close, you know. I have no excuse. I don't have to drive or go by train for a half an hour to get into nature. It's like 3 minutes away from my office. I have the most beautiful view over Zurich and the woods are there. So like no excuse. You already coached me in this pod. Yeah, really. I love that. I love these conversations and I hope our listeners are taking a lot of wisdom away, because isn't that crazy how like you in your corporate world and running around and feeling burnout creeping up and now doing your life this way, and actually it's easy to have a beautiful life, but the transition is not easy at all, and it's hard and so crushing, and telling your parents and everything is like so scary, but it's worth everything, right? It's
yes.
What would you say now? I hope like that's my intention for attracting more corporate cool, absolutely beautiful souls working in corporate, and they know I have to change something. I have to find out what I really want to do. What do you say to these people?
I would say it doesn't have to be like I did, like bam, I quit, and then it doesn't have to be such a change, because that's really scary. And I think that's what really shocked my system. I needed that. I'm like that. I'm an all or nothing person. If I don't make that decision, I'll just dwell on it, and then my brain will find so many reasons for me not to do it. But I would say that there's a way to introduce pieces like in your life that bring you joy, and to explore what you do want to do, without throwing your life away in a sense as you know it now. Yet, you know, there's little things that you can integrate into your life right now, and that will help you prioritize yourself and understand that you matter, that what you think and feel and really want matters. And I think that as you do these things, you realize, oh, actually, I want more of that in my life. Oh, actually, I didn't really like that other thing I was doing. And I believe, you know, there's, depending on the corporate setting, there are some companies that support personal growth and in different ways. So maybe not the answer for everyone is not just quit your job and start a business, although I think that in certain types of people, that's what you're going to need. Because I see a lot of my friends that have been complaining for years and years and years about their jobs, and it's like things like that, they're not going to change. So where you are, so you can either get a new job and hope it's going to be better, or start creating that for yourself. But yes, I would say it doesn't have to be all or nothing right away. It can be introducing little things into your life and seeing how that shifts things, because I think it's really important.
And what will be number one? Like, how do I even start? You know, like I listened to Amandine now and like, yeah, it sounds wonderful. I'm overwhelmed already thinking about doing things differently.
Okay, so I would say it's all about strengthening a connection to something that brings you joy. And it could be, for me, it's nature, right? And some, I probably know that connection for years, and years, because I thought my priority was somewhere else. So it could be as well nature. And with that, you can start by taking a walk at lunchtime if you can, or maybe when you get home, taking a walk in the woods near your house, or taking a day trip at the weekend and going somewhere and just breathing in nature. And just even on your own is better. I'm a big fan of spending time on your own, because you have to listen, right? You have to listen to what's around you. You have to listen to yourself. So that's an example. It could be that you, to recreate that connection with nature, I don't know, maybe you, this is a bit of my example actually, you used to horse ride and you loved it as a kid, and then you stopped because, you know, being an adult involves other things. But how about doing that again? How about taking a class? Or you used to love dancing, how about you just signing up for a class and reconnecting to your body and to yourself? And that can change so much, so much. Doing something basically that's just for you, right? It's not about showing up for someone, it's not about anyone else, it's for you. And maybe, you know, at first you'll try a few different things, and some things will resonate more than others. But I would say key is action. Take small action and then figure it out as you go.
And I think doing something for you only, that's so beautiful. But signing up for a dance class or horse riding would be less scary than going to nature alone. Like being alone is such a threat to some people because the voices are so loud when you're not distracted, right?
Yeah. It takes time to get comfortable with, but now once you do, it's like, I can still be around people, but I don't really want to all the time, you know. I really love my own company, and I didn't used to. In my 20s, for example, I used to go to all the parties and where there was all the noise so that I wouldn't hear these voices. I wouldn't hear you're freaking miserable, you hate yourself kind of thing. No, seriously. I used to think, and I used to think that it just was the way you needed to be extroverted, go to all the parties, be that person. And now I've realized actually I'm not that person at all, and I don't have to be. And COVID in a way helped with that, because, and it helped a lot of people with that, because it was like, oh, I can stay home if I want to. And I know it's been really hard also on many other levels, but for that kind of appreciating our own company and being with ourselves, it's been interesting for sure.
Yeah, I think the party and the noise, it can be so much fun. And I started so late to go to parties. Actually, really, when I started university, I went to these student parties. I was never drinking before or going to parties. I was in a scout leader, you know, and had a lot of camps and international camps, but like no partying. And I really enjoyed the party so much. It wasn't, I think, a distraction. It was just so much fun. But then, and I think with different age times, you just change. I mean, now I have, like, maybe now not with COVID, but like 4 gorgeous parties until dawn per year. That's enough for me now. And before that, it was 4 per week. So
yes, no, exactly.
And
I think
with the right people, right? And that's something I encourage people so much in the Joy Academy, to really think, what do I want? Even in the little things. And you don't have to go to parties you just don't want to go. Just say no, have fun. I wish you the most beautiful evening, but I'm not coming. And if people are like, what? Why are you not coming? Like, just because. You don't have to explain yourself. And that's something we have to relearn too, like to not fulfill all the expectations of others. Just think about your own expectations. What do I want? And then take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, enjoying your own company, that's like the best thing ever, because we are spending quite a lot of time, like forever, with ourselves, right? Like from the beginning to the end, we are with ourselves. So having a good time together is just the most rewarding thing.
Absolutely. And it's not just spending time with ourselves, it's actually enjoying it and learning to love ourselves. I again realized this quite late 20s, 30s, because I wasn't actively thinking, oh, I don't like myself. But then I realized some behavior were really to avoid facing certain things in me. And we're the person we're going to spend our whole life with. How sad is it if you don't like yourself? And that's why the past few years, especially since I started my business, because that's so linked, right? Where you're at in your headspace and the success of your business. I've been cultivating self-love. It's so important. And it is work if you're not used to that. And again, you're used to numbing with different behaviors or whatever it is. You might not realize, oh, this part of me, like I really need to accept and forgive, or it's just so important. And you won't be able to like distract yourself forever. I think we all hit a point in our life where it's like, oh, like, no, you need to heal. You need to heal that inner child. You need to heal and love yourself.
Yeah, I think you can numb and distract yourself forever, and then something big hits you. It's just like the burnout or the illness or whatever it is. If you really neglect yourself, life will punch you in your face if you don't listen to the little signs before.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the most beautiful thing happening to you, because after that you switch. But I don't believe in we need the crisis to change. You know, we can decide, okay, that's it, I want to change something. And that's why I created the Joy Academy. You know, it's like the playground where you can fix and change and be aware of all the different areas of your life. And for some people, it's like they have a mess at home. It's so messy, they hate their place. And some people they hate their inside place, or it's just so individual, but so worth to work through that. Afterwards, you're like, my life is amazing. And how, I don't know how old I will become and what I will do in 20 years, but today is a good day, and I created my way. I mean, that's just so powerful.
Love that.
Thank you so much for all this inspiration. I'm filled up with inspiration, I tell you. Always my last question is, what is your message to the world? Because this podcast can be listened by the whole world, you know, isn't that cool too?
Yes. My message is really learn to love all the parts of you. And I'm still not there. Like, this is a work in progress. For me, you mentioned we don't need a crisis to change. I totally agree. But for me, there was definitely that with when I quit my job and had that, you know, depression. It was like, okay, something wasn't working. There's something there that I need to work on. And by rediscovering self-care, or just discovering it, because, you know, I knew about self-care, but it wasn't really intentional before. And I always say self-care is different for everyone. And on a different day, it's going to be different. Like I said, at the time for me, it was like feeding myself properly. And now self-care is different for me. It's going to be taking a walk, for example. It's going to be showing up with courage in my business and speaking my truth. So it's I would say, explore self-care practices that feel good, because that leads to self-love and that leads to a better world. I really believe that with more self-love, we are going to be changing the world. And that's why I really want to help women entrepreneurs, like you, because when we love ourselves, we can pass that on, we can make a bigger impact. And yes, we're changing the world. Absolutely. So find a way, anyone listening, like find one thing you can do today, taking a walk, booking that class, something like a little self-care move that's going to show yourself I matter, I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of time, and I'm important. I'm the most important thing in my life.
I say that too. I'm the most important person of my life, and you are too.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We will put all the links to find you in the show notes and into every post we do. But can you say it now? And I know we need to pronunciate it right, that we find your website, right? So where can people find you?
You can find me on bloomemoi.com, and that's BLOEMETMOI.com. So bloom the Dutch way means flowers in Dutch, et moi, and me in French. So that's a website, and you can find me on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, the same thing, bloomemoi.
Perfect.
Yes. So
follow Amandine. It's such a big inspiration. Thank you for your time and your wisdom. And like I just love how to like Zoom connects all these different countries, you know, like south of France, Switzerland. How cool is that we can record that?
It's so cool. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure and beautiful conversation.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day and say hello to your cats.
Oh, I will.
Bye.
Bye, Ronja.
How amazing is Amandine? I mean, we recorded this a while back. I'm now at my ski vacation. The lightning is absolutely not working. It's in our rented apartment here. But you just need to hear me, right? And I don't have to be in perfect lightning. I want to thank Amandine for her time and her wisdom. The thing which touched me the most, I think, is that she created the life she wants from a situation where she said, like, it was killing me from the inside out. I mean, that's just the worst place to be in. So if you are anyhow near a place of feeling like it's killing me from the inside, just know that you have the power to change your situation, to just say like enough is enough. And you don't, as we were talking about in this episode, have to change everything within a second. Some people don't like to build their airplane while they are falling from the cliff. You can build your airplane as a side hustle, like having still part-time or full-time your job, but really knowing I'm building my future for me, maybe your family, just so that it's a beautiful place to be and not this soul-sucking, like killing from the inside. That's just the worst. And I mean, Amandine is the best example. Her beautiful business, check her out on Instagram, on Facebook, and order tea from her. I can tell you, if you open that package, it's just a delight to unpack. Everything is so beautifully made. Of course, the product itself, but also the whole package is just a piece of art. Thank you, Amandine. And if you want some help with creating the life you really want, join the Joy Academy, because there you really get aware of what is not serving me, what do I want, and then you create your life full of joy and peace and clarity and connections and just more of everything you want. And I'm helping you with that, but you are the guru you are looking for. I don't tell you how things work, and you have to do it as I tell you. You find out yourself how to create your own dream life, and it will look differently than any other person on this planet, because you are one of a kind, you are wonderful, and you deserve a beautiful life full of joy. Have a wonderful day or night. Please tell us in the comments or write a review on iTunes to this episode. What was your biggest takeaway? What did you like the best? And follow me on Instagram. It's at joyismycompass. And let's keep in touch there. Or go to my website, joyismycompass.com, and you will find wonderful freebies there and a lot of information about the Joy Academy. I would love to welcome you there. It's the best place to be, to create the life you really, 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 really want and deserve and love.